Alright. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. We are back, and oh my lord, did we just start this game with 12 workers? We did, that's right. Big $600 modded tournament this week, guys. Patch Clash number 9. Roddy was casting this one live, sponsored by some cool people, and of course, announcing the inauguration, I should say, of the upcoming $5,000 circuit on Patch's mod. So, for those who don't know, Patch's mod, very cool mod. I've played a bunch of these tournaments, cast a bunch of these tournaments quite a while ago. I've taken a bit of a break from it. But yeah, 12 worker start. Resource change is interesting because I think the minerals are still the same as the live version of the game in that it's 1600 and 1200. REYNOR in the bottom right, of course. Classic in the bottom left. Amazing lineup for this tournament, by the way, guys. Lots of top players. But yeah, it's the gas is back to 2250. So the gas is reverted. The minerals are the same as the live game. There are 12 workers. And there's obviously a plethora of new upgrades, changes, a bunch of cool things from the campaign. I've just spent about 40 minutes reading through all the changes because so many have changed since the last time I've played tournaments on this. I feel like Zerg is pretty good. I've abused the heck out of Zerg in the tournaments I've played on this, but they were mostly back when Patches was running tournaments that were below a certain skill level. Rather than having like one 6k MMR plus pro gamer come in and just wreck everybody, there was a lot of like kind of focused on low GM tournaments that Patches would run. Or low, mid, you know, below 5.4k was one of the common ones where, you know, we'd often off-race in quite a few of those. But when I was able to play Zerg in them, I felt like Zerg was really good. And the lava changes reverted. But what is new for Zerg's economy is that you can stack 4 lava on the hatchery before it stops producing. And that is actually really, really powerful. I think it makes a massive difference. So I'm really curious to see how REYNOR looks with that change. I think it'll help him quite a bit. I think it's a massive boost to lower level players who are always obviously idling lava on their hatchery. But we'll see, just based on how the builds go, how that works. Now keep in mind, you cannot rely on queens to defend. I do think roaches are an absolute must against, say, for instance, Terran. The reason being, queens are massively changed. They do not have an armor, and their damage, rather than being 2x4 versus ground in the current version of the game, guess what? It's 5 damage. Not 2x5, just 5. Going down from 8 to 5 damage against ground. You can imagine not very powerful, especially if you're hitting something with a point of armor like an adept on it. That's 4 damage from the queen. So the queen, she's still reasonably tanky. She's got great anti-air. So she's actually got 1 more anti-air damage and maybe even range as well, I believe. So she's better against air, but she really is not going to cover you on ground. She's there for injecting. She's there for spreading creep. She can help you defend. And you can actually get an evolution chamber, which will unlock the ability to turn these into swarm queens, which is a more combat-heavy variant. Ooh, drone goes down. Nice move there for Classic. Already gets himself a drone with the Classic dive. We've got an early Evo for REYNOR, so he might be thinking about turning these into those Brood Queens. Now, Brood Queens are not as good anti-air. They lose a lot of their anti-air range, but they're very good against ground. It goes from 5 damage up to 12 damage, and they've got some other cool bonuses as well. So we'll see how we go. And I'll be kind of checking the changes in between the games. So I might be doing a bit of, you know, rewind, elucidating changes at the end of games. Go, oh, I missed this change is actually these numbers and that sort of stuff. Adepts have 80 hit points, by the way, guys. That's different. They have 70 in the live game. Ooh, I didn't notice that one when I was reading through the changes. There's so many cool changes. Oh, Spore is not done. Oh no, big mistake for REYNOR. Now he's going to surround some Adepts in the middle, which is nice. The Oracle, though, is up to 3 kills. It could have got more, honestly. The Adept heals a little bit on the Healing Shrine. He's going to try and dance around there. It does pick off a few more units, but it does go down. Third base coming up. There is a Phoenix there to defend it. Most importantly, this Oracle needs to get home, energy recharge, and then get to it. But guess what? Energy recharge is removed. You can chrono boost the Oracle, and energy units will regenerate energy at 150% faster rate. But looks like the Adept Warp-ins, the Phoenix dealing with the Dropper Lord, all going to work out nicely. Remember, you've got Dropper Lord on Hatchery Tech. You just need an Evo Chamber for it as well. I love that REYNOR went for that. Would have been cool if he had an Overlord here as well to drop across this side while pressuring the front. But he doesn't find the damage, loses the Overlord. Honestly, it's not that big of an expense, but definitely kind of thrust carried by the Protoss player Classic here. So is this not live? It's just a mod? Absolutely. That's right, guys. Can have a lot of people tuning in today asking that. So please, guys, let them know. Hit the patches command in the live chat and let people know about it. You can scroll up the YouTube chat if you guys want to see those changes. Linked there. Ooh, Oracle's coming in. Spore's not ready on the third. This is a big mistake here. Now, keep in mind, REYNOR, you can see he does 1 more damage to these queens. They do 9 damage rather than 8, I think it is. Or is it 10 rather than 9, actually? You can see, yeah, 10 damage flat was coming off per shot. So those units go down a bit faster. Now, remember, Spore's old 400 hit points is back, guys. Actually, was it? Yeah, 400 hit points is back. But they do only 15 damage a shot, not 20 damage. So the Spore's not as important as the queens for anti-air. Now, against an air build like this, 6 queens does make sense. What is this, guys? He's getting Graviton Restoration, which allows Phoenix to rapidly regen shields while lifting units. Oh, so he's going to play 3 Stargate Phoenix, and whenever they pick up a unit, their shields are going to heal. So you actually want to use your, like, low hit point or damaged shield Phoenix to pick up wherever possible, if you can be bothered microing that. It'd be kind of hard to pull off, but a very cute upgrade. He's also going +1 air weapons. REYNOR, he's just started the lair. He has no idea what's going on in that main, which is very standard for REYNOR. Now, he's going to have +1 melee zergling, so maybe he can just counterattack, ignore the Phoenix, and like overwhelm the third or something like that. But if the Oracles are there, that'll be a very tough ask. Overlord speed coming in, Baneling Nest, and a second Evo chamber. REYNOR's had a pretty good income this whole early game. It feels like, yeah, he lost 8 drones, 7 zerglings, and an Overlord, but I don't know. His economy feels fine. I guess it's just the 4th is not as early as he might like. He might prefer that 4th base to be up a little bit faster. Ooh. Look at that. Hydra Den goes down. Hatchery's going to take some damage here. Nah, surely that's saved. Queens. Oh my god, they do a lot of damage. But here come the Phoenix. It was a bait. It was a bait. The Phoenix are in the open. And look at that. You can see the shields healing really quickly on these Phoenix while they're lifting. That's actually amazing. Wow. Those Phoenix taking no damage at all. Every single queen goes down. REYNOR may indeed be finding himself deep in a town. And it's a town that you're all very familiar with. Dick Town, obviously. One Phoenix is going to go down there. Not the best micro for Classic. Definitely want to be trying to pull the weak Phoenix away a little bit more, but that's okay. Picks up another queen. These drones on the gases are incredibly isolated. At the same time, Ling's running in and... Oh, my lord! Oh, he actually did overwhelm the third. I didn't think that would actually work. Oh, no. Classic. Losing 20 probes on the third. Oh, my gosh. I guess he only had a few adepts in his shield battery, and that was an immense amount of zerglings. REYNOR finds massive counter damage. He loses a lot of overlords. Honestly, I think you might want to dive even more with these Phoenix. You've got 15 Phoenix. Diving here and killing all these overlords for 2 or 3 Phoenix is super worth it. You don't want to throw away all your Phoenix, but you've got a window before these Hydras are out. That window's about to run away. And with 3 spores in the main, that's not the place to fight. But if you can catch either the Hydras in the open or go kill a ton more Overlords, this could be good for Classic. Classic's got a 4th base on the way. He's going mass Void Ray. Void Rays have been buffed. They have 1 armor now. And you can get Flux Veins on the Cyber Core rather than the Fleet Beacon. So notice he's going Flux Veins without having a Fleet Beacon. The Phoenix continuing to do crazy damage here. REYNOR should be pretty screwed in this game. Classic finding good damage. You can see that the Phoenix, if it's the one that's tanking the Spore and Hydra shots, but it's also lifting a unit, it's kind of healing through the damage quite nicely. And he's just dancing around here. REYNOR, of course, has to group his units up. He's got movement speed on the way. He's got to kind of rally between... I think it's really important if you guys are ever in this situation, always put a Spore between your bases, guys, to try and create a corridor where they can't camp as much. It's obviously, it's you know, I know it's expensive, but I think for average Joe players, it's super worth it doing that. Of course, at this level, hard to accept that cost. This is the 5th base is going to go down to the Voids here, it looks like. Hydras and Queens coming forward, but this could be a bait. REYNOR going into fight. I mean, that's 14 Phoenix. They do wreck Hydras. Very dangerous move out there. REYNOR's top right 4th base, though, is still alive. Phoenix and Void Rays heading in that direction. Classic trying to play Sky Toss right now. A few slow banelings could ruin his day. Oh, no! He's not got many units to defend. Luckily, he only loses 6 probes. Great reaction there from Classic. Could have been much worse. He's got this gold base down the bottom. He's got a row of cannon battery down here in a kind of funky position. Phoenix Void Ray comes in, but, oh, a bit of a sloppy engage. That's too many Hydras. Nice transfuses coming in from those queens as well. I believe they are using the mini transfuse, if memory serves. Is that a full transfuse or is it a mini transfuse? I'm not quite sure. The Phoenix get overwhelmed. The Void Rays kill the hatchery, but Classic just threw away his entire army to kill that 4th base. Only got a few of the Hydras. A big mistake there. These were full transfuses. So there is no mini transfuse. There's no in this version. Even if you go for the Swarm Queen, I think it's still the normal transfuse. Fourth Stargate, fifth Stargate goes down. Air armor coming in. He's fully on air, but like, honestly, against Hydras, you need to go full Phoenix. Another big problem, guys, there's a special upgrade. I don't know if it's Hive Tech or what, but there's an upgrade where it makes it so, I think it's like bifurcated follicles, and it allows Hydra's armor to work double against air attacks. So specifically, against Void Rays or carriers, Hydras will actually wreck them if you don't have Psystorm or something to deal with the Hydras, if you can get that upgrade. But Reynor might not know about it. You know, there's so many changes here. He's kind of stuck on the normal attack upgrade focus. And against a pure air army, that could get him in trouble. I mean, Hydras long-term aren't going to be amazing. Still building Mass Phoenix is Classic. So Classic's not making the transition into carriers, which you would normally expect. Or Tempest Storm here would be another gate play. Another gate play, another great play. Would be the opposite of a gateway play, because he's not building any gates, is he? He's only got the 2 gateways from the early game, a couple of basic ground units. Infested's going to come out, as well as a Hive here for Reynor. Both very good for catching these small air units. Void Rays come in for a snipe, and he will get the hatchery there. It's not the Hive. Loses a few Voids for it, but I think that one's worth it. I think 2 Voids for a hatchery snipe's pretty damn effective. Gold base going up in the north as well. Classic throwing away that big army before really took the wind out of his sails. I think his big mistake was not engaging here on the early Hydras. I also do think letting all these Overlords survive was a bit of a mistake. I think if he'd sniped those Overlords earlier, Reynor would have taken so long to ever get the critical mass of Hydras out. And I think if the Voids rallied to the top a bit earlier, he could have kind of basically got a 4 versus 3 base advantage technically and built a huge game-winning position for himself. Carapace is now coming in for Reynor. These lava bleeding out as they creep disappears, guys. He's going to start dropping some creep there with the Overlords. Twilight Council coming in, +2 air weapons, and the carriers are finally entering the fray, guys. So lots of carriers building all at once. Phoenix still roaming. He's got to be careful. Fungal's out. You got to be careful of Fungal. There's no Vipers yet. Normally it's Fungal Parasitic Bomb that ruins Phoenix. If Reynor finds that upgrade, I think Hydras will wreck carriers. I think Storm is so vital for Classic's position. But look at this great little Baneling Waddle by. And good reaction by Classic. Just a few pylons and a probe going down. Nothing too crazy. 2 more Infestors building. Remember, you can also make Infested Terrans, guys. You can see those slots on the Infestors. It is 20 minerals per Infested Terran. And they will slowly lose life over time. They don't have a timed life. It's just they drain hit points over time. But they even have it. There's a special upgrade. Hold on! Oh, Classic gets caught by the Fungal Hydra. And that is a lot of Phoenix going down. I mean, they weren't the best unit at this stage of the game anyway, but that is very costly. And these Void Rays, he's trying to move. And he does get him out of there. Mama's there. He's going to pull away. Keep in mind, you can still recall in this game, but your units take more damage while recalling, and recall takes a bit longer, so recall is heavily nerfed. That being said, recall has a much faster cooldown, and it's on the gateway instead. Here we go. Oh, the Phoenix coming in, picking off a few Hydras, but as the rest of the crew come down, those Phoenix do get punished, and that's going to be a nice shutdown. Over in the north, Void Ray Mothership do defend those Zerglings. What is this upgrade, guys? This is Tissue Preservation. Increases the Infested Terran's health by 5, and evolves it to last twice as long while burrowed. That's basically, so with Infested Terrans, because they don't cost supply, you can make billions of them and then burrow them, and they'll take like, I think it's like 3 or 4, I don't know how long. It's twice as long. I think by default, they last just under 2 minutes. So if you get that upgrade, I think it'll be like 3.5 minutes. So you could basically build Infested Terrans, spawn them, burrow them, spawn them, burrow them, spawn them, burrow them. Chat says it's 200 seconds total. Exactly. Okay, cool. So you can basically make like maybe 100 or 200 Infested Terrans above your supply. Pretty damn powerful. Hydra Infestor roaming. He's also going to be getting the Hydra +10 hit points, Hive Tech upgrade, Ancillary Carapace. He forgot Hydra range. That's the most Reynor thing in the world. Reynor has a big problem with going Hydra styles, and he always forgets one of the upgrades. Maybe, what, 30% of his games? 40%? It's a worryingly high percentage. But he's got 4 Vipers now. He's got Infested. He's got Spores. The Carrier Void Ray Mothership coming in. Brave attack here. Unfortunately, Reynor has not found that Hydralisk upgrade, guys. Immortal. Ooh. Nice snipes there. REYNOR gets the Immortals, gets the Probe as well, it looks like. Very well done. Obviously, Adrenal 2-1. Going to do well. Now, keep in mind, guys, carriers are a very different unit. Let's talk about the carrier. So, Interceptors have 3 shield armor. They are incredibly tanky. Not only that, carriers, normally in the live version of the game, they have 8 range and then 12 leash range on the Interceptors. So you can throw the Interceptors from quite far away, and then once they're out of the carrier, you can run very far away. So 12 range, if that's what you're shooting, your carrier could be like all the way over here and still have the Interceptors attacking it while way out of range of your target. In this version, it's only 6 cast range. You have to get really close to launch your Interceptors. And they also only have, I think, 10 or 8 leash range, something like that. Much lower leash range. So the carrier has to get right in there to cause damage. Phoenix finally getting caught. We've got Cardaran shielding. Increases the carrier's shield regen rate by 11.2 and reduces the shield regen delay to 0.5. This means carriers, the moment they're out of combat for even half a second, their shields will refill so quickly. So anytime the carriers are able to go in, take some damage, pull back out, like they will almost instantly regen back to full life, like within a very quick span. It's almost like having a battery healing them. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, so the carriers have to kind of get in close, but it's hard to kill Interceptors. It is possible to kill the carriers themselves, of course, but they also have 50 more life, 350 hit points, 150 shields. But yeah, the carriers have kind of got to get in there to cause damage, which does expose them to a lot more risk. Spire, Ultra Cavern going down now, Bane Speed as well. Pig, the Hydra anti-air armor is +1 armor passively with each carapace. Oh, wait, it's passive? You don't need to upgrade it. I thought you needed to get a special upgrade for that to kick in. And then your carapace upgrades would be... Is it just a passive ability that the Hydra has? Oh, Bubby's coming in! Here we go, offensive recall, guys. Big recall into the main, but the Fungal already doing some damage. Oh, High Templar actually died to a few Zerglings there. Parabomb comes down, feedback lands on some of the Vipers. Most of the Viper energy is gone. Viper Consume is a little bit slower to refill those these days, and look at that Psy Storm. Oh, I can't remember how his Psy Storm works, guys. Is this just... I think it's very similar to the old classic Psy Storm, where it just does a lot of damage over like 3 seconds. It's not... I mean, I've been so used to that giant zoning tool storm for a while now. Here come the Infested Terrans, guys. They have 75 hit points. They will get popped as they're coming up here. The carrier's fighting pretty damn well. Got to be careful that you don't storm all of your own Interceptors, though. One carrier gets abducted and taken down. Oh, they've got the rocket attack as well. They've got the anti-air rocket attack. The Infested Terrans crushing through the Hydra Infestor, pushing up this ramp. He's going to try and recall out, but units take double damage while recalling. Remember, recalling out is super risky now. You cannot just use it as a get-out-of-jail-free card. That is crazy damage. It's a straight passive for the Hydras. Each armor will just give +1 bonus versus anti-air. Oh, so Hydras essentially have 4 armor versus air units now. He's got to remember that +3 carapace. He's also getting this one, guys, which is allows Swarm Queens to passively generate creep. Okay, so if he makes any of these queens into Swarm Queens now, they will literally just leave a snail trail of creep wherever they go. So you can just like run queens forward and just drop creep on the map as well. Now, Disruptors are back to 3 supply. They have a damage fall off, so they do the old crazy damage in the middle as well, but the outer ring is like the new 100 damage Disruptor, so Disruptors could be good for clearing Infestor Hydra. Storm as well. Oh, so many things to kind of keep in mind here that are different to the live game, guys. Lurkers are not as good in that they don't get late game. They come in harder a bit faster because they basically start with Adaptive Talons, but their attacks, their spines actually move 20% slower, and they don't have an Adaptive Talons upgrade in late game. It also takes longer, I think, to get the Seismic Spines, so I don't think long-term you want to be too reliant on Mass Lurker, but look at this Mass Infestor. 17 Infestors is crazy. Remember, those Infested Terrans are not free units, though. Like, REYNOR used a lot of Infested Terrans. Remember, every Infested Terran you kill is actual tangible money. So, units lost times 2,000 in favor of REYNOR. Obviously, that's a great units lost tab, but it's not insane. Tectonic Destabilizers. +3 shields, +2 ground attack. Colossus range coming in. I think Colossus is probably a bad choice, but we'll see. Here come Storms. Nice Storms on these Hydras. Zoning them out. The Overseers also take heavy damage. Carriers are going to snipe that and then try to move away. The Spore Crawler does a little bit of damage, but it does get blitzed there. Good snipe on this base. If you could deny this base and maybe these 2 bottom bases as classic, you don't mind the gold getting mined out quite as much. Funnily enough, this base in the top left was completely undefended for a while there, but REYNOR is so immobile, right? He's on mass Infested, a bunch of Hydras, few Vipers. He's got 4 Ultras coming in. He's going to go for a big Infested Terran attack on this base. He's looking for some spells, but he needs Overseers up front as well. He's going to use the Overseers Oversight mode. Remember, these aren't free units. That Infested Terran air attack, the rocket attack against air units is kind of insane, eh? 20 minerals per Infested Terran. It's so hard to judge these fights. Zealots coming in on the right side as well. The Infested Terrans, I think because their rocket attack does like, is it 12 or 13 damage? I think it also benefits from attack upgrades. I'm not quite sure. But if it does, they will kill interceptors as well. As the carriers themselves. The carriers trying to dance in and out to kind of take the priority. 13 drones go down. The Hydra Ultra goes to clear that up. This is a bit of a weird fight. It's Infested Terrans and spells. It's spells and not quite free units. Oh, wombo combo! He's even going to go for the Neuroparasite there. You know, Neuroparasite's a bit of a funky choice because it does protect the Neuroparasited units from the spells that are stacked so well there. Really nice Parabomb Fungal combos, but no Corruptors or even Hydras to kind of stack damage on top of it. You can see, you know, REYNOR doesn't really have a core basic army here. And he's going to get pushed back eventually, but massive damage to the Protoss forces in the process of this. The Hydra's now coming in as well. They do really good damage, taking out another carrier. This carrier that's neuroparasited might be going down. Another carrier is going to fall there if you're not careful, mate. The carriers are tanky, but another one goes down. These Hydras are actually doing pretty well. I don't know what this upgrade is that's coming in, so I got to go click that. Sorry, guys. We're going to look away from the battle for 1 second. Evolves Ultralist to heal 0.1 life per damage dealt. Okay, that's Ultra Lifesteal. Is in the way, guys. Is on the way. So Ultras get a small lifesteal on their attacks. Ultra's coming in right now to counterattack this base to try and buy himself some time, but REYNOR's really bled out a lot of units. You can see he's still way ahead on the units lost, though. That air army was more expensive than him. Problem, what are his air upgrades? He's only got +1 air, and he's building Corruptors. Ooh, last time REYNOR was backseating me while I was playing a live game on the ladder, guys, and he was giving me some, in quotation marks, coaching. I swapped to Corruptors with +1 attack against a 3/3 Sky Toss. And he was just like, don't know. And I was like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Well, how the tables have turned, REYNOR. Now you're the guy building unupgraded Corruptors against mass upgraded 3/3 air units. Chat says Classic got a new upgrade. Which one? What did it do? Here we go, guys. He's coming. I think he just got a carrier upgrade for the interceptors to launch faster. Massive wombo combo. Holy moly, the storms are really good. The Archons do morph, but Classic's army is getting overwhelmed. The Neuroparasites, the Hydras, the Corruptors, the Ultras clean through the ground army. REYNOR absolutely blitzing through. And these Corruptors are going to smash. Remember, Corruptors are also nerfed on this patch as well, guys. I don't know if they've lost... I think they lose 20 hit points from the live version. Or maybe they lose armor. I always get my mods confused, but they're definitely a bit weaker as well. Classic dropping the question marks. He's like, what the hell, man? You're just killing all my shit. This Zerg army's insane, brother. Like, the Hydras don't take damage. My carriers have to get too close to land their spells. My storms aren't doing enough. My immortals can't beat your ultras. He's like, what is this? He's like, what is this? So chat saying apparently he got the Colossus upgrade. Oh, he got this is where the Colossus sets the ground on fire. Funky upgrade, guys. Yeah, that doesn't do anything in this situation because you didn't have any Colossus out. But let's go back and take a look at maybe this previous fight a little bit, guys. So I think Corruptors, is it 180 hit points? It's 200 hit points. The Corruptors here have 200 hit points. I think they maybe have 1 less armor though, which is definitely an issue. Army-wise, he was getting ravaged by the spells a bit. The carriers having to get so close to the enemy army definitely felt a little hard for him. Patches says no Corruptor changes. Oh, you reverted your Corruptor changes? You had Corruptor changes, Patches. You used to have nerfs to Corruptors, I'm quite sure, right? Did you get rid of those? So I remember you and Greener both had slightly different nerfs to Corruptors. You had a 10 hit point nerf. Ah, okay. You got rid of it. Oh, it doesn't set the ground... yeah, deals an additional 15 damage over 3.15 second. Effect does not stack. That's such a light burning damage as well. It's not even that crazy. Pig, do you think the CC cost 300 minerals is a rational and justified change? I think it's dumb. I don't think it's good. Okay, so what else did I miss, guys? Like, what else did I miss in these fights? It felt like I don't know. Let's go watch one of these big battles and break it down a little bit, shall we? Let's look at the big battle that happens here, I guess. All right, so I mean, infested Terrans are a very good way of going oversupply. It feels like you need to have an abundance of High Templar to deal with this, yeah? Colossus could help as well, right? You gotta be really careful to not get caught by spells. And yeah. You can chrono your High Templar. See, he chronos his High Templar, guys, to get crazy energy regen. So you can see it's pretty good, the chrono on the High Templar. But it's not energy recharge. Alright, so if we look at this fight, guys, these fights, you got to be really careful. I think the problem that happened here is twofold. There's 4 Tempests and 10 carriers, so the army is like overcommitted to air. And there's not enough covering it on the ground. 2 Colossus are nice, but Extended Thermalance only just finished, and he doesn't have the burning ground upgrade, Scorching Flame, just yet. And there's so many Infested Terrans that are like above max supply here, where it's like, oh god, this is actually like really scary, right? And even though you might think, well, there's no regular units. What's he got? A couple Lurkers, a couple Ultras, a couple Hydras, like what the hell? And he basically just pushes in with Spellcasters, Infestors. But there's 4 Infested Terrans per Infestor. So that if you think about the supply efficiency of this, it's utterly wild. Like the supply efficiency. The Infested Terrans aren't very mobile. They kind of can just push one area though. So I think as a Protoss in late game, if your opponent's building Infestors, is you want to have like 8 High Templar, maybe even slightly more than that. Because this is such an insane commitment to Infestors, right? Oh, you shouldn't have... Why would you have 8 High Templar? There's too much supply. It's like, dude, he has friggin' 42 supply of Infestors. You could easily have 20 supply. 10. Let's say you have 10 High Templar on max, you know. Then you can storm these clumps of Infested Terrans down, right? And you can kind of just pull back and avoid fighting. So I think that's really, really big. Yeah. I think this was a moment where Classic got caught. He built a High Templar reactively. He should have given this base up and not fought. Because he's not got an answer for the Infested Terrans. And I think if he's going to commit to a fight, he should pre-spread his carriers. Carriers here, carriers here, carriers here. And then do a big A move so he's not quite as vulnerable to spells. Keep in mind, these carriers only have 6 range to launch their interceptors. You've got to actually stay in range a little bit longer. He's not really launching his interceptors, so he's just getting hit by spells without the payoff of actually launching the interceptors. I think there's a lot for Classic to learn in terms of the micro. A lot of those carriers are only now starting to throw their interceptors out. Like, his interceptors were not all launched for way too long in this game. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Okay, he does have Graviton Catapult. I think that's this one here. Is there a second carrier upgrade that he was missing, guys? Or did he have everything? I think this was... Yeah, he does walk over the Lurkers and lose his ground units. He's still not dealt with these Infested Terrans either. And he kind of chases into the spells and just loses way too many extra carriers here towards the tail end of this fight, eating Neural, Parasitic Bomb, and the Hydras. But Classic needs to realize, against mass Infestor armies, it's all about having enough High Templar with feedback, Storm to counter them. He has both carrier upgrades. What's the other one? Oh, Kaidaran Shielding is the other one. Right. Yeah. And then Graviton Catapult. All right, guys. So Classic, they're getting overwhelmed by the Infested Terrans. I think you got to realize they do cost money for REYNOR. The Infestors commitment was a massive commitment, and it pushes very slowly and one-directionally. So I think as a Protoss player, you've got to build more High Templar to deal with it. Arguably, the fact that the Infested Terrans don't cost supply, maybe REYNOR could like split push 2 sides. It might be overpowered, right? Being able to build 4 Infested Terrans. But Classic clearly did not have the correct answer there in terms of having more High Templar. Colossus is a cute idea to deal with them, but I actually think High Templar is probably just better. All right, guys. REYNOR in the top right side of the map, looking very good in that last game. Using the new Infested Terran. Oh my god, guys, why are people still hosting this map? It kills me inside. Guys, it's BlackRock TE Tournament Edition. Stop using the crappy ladder version of the map. It's the exact same map, just with not this terrible lighting that's irradiating your eyeballs. Ugh. Classic in the bottom left. That's... This is like one of my favorite maps visually when it's not friggin', you know, this is meant to be like a rich, dark green grass, not this friggin' ultra contrast. It looks like a Mr. Beast thumbnail in here, you know? Ridiculous. Piggy, you a dark room gamer? No, I don't like dark room gaming. I prefer a well-lit room usually, unless I'm playing like, I don't know, maybe I'm playing like a horror game or something super immersive. Maybe I'll dim the lights a bit. But definitely not the full dark one. Does the lighting show up on those settings? I don't know, I haven't played with the settings, but like just play TE, guys. Tournament Edition, BlackRock TE. Avex fixed the lighting for it. It was an error that this version went to live, and they're probably not going to fix it because Blizzard doesn't seem to like updating the maps once they're live on ladder. I don't know if there's some engineering problem there or what, but they seem to just not do it. They take forever to fix map issues, even if the map makers have already fixed them, often before the maps went live. Anyways, Classic played a funky style. I think he missed a big window to deny the fourth and win the game, essentially, with pure air, guys. The carriers aren't bad. Like, I don't think the carriers are bad, but they're definitely, like, very different in how they work. You've got to kind of shove in and commit to fights. Once spellcasters are out, you want to be spreading those carriers out because the thing is, like, Fungal actually wrecks them. Because the carriers only have 6 range. If you get your carriers fungaled, and only a few of them are in range of the enemy, and the others are slowed by 75%, they literally can't even launch their interceptors until the battle's halfway over. Like, and that's what Classic has to be really wary of. If he wants to play Skytoss again, you have to respect the fact that you cannot be clumping all your carriers. So he was clumping his carriers and kind of using them like, oh, I have the range advantage. You don't. They're 2 less range on both cast and leash range, which is a massive nerf. Sorry, guys. So yeah, I think he's going to have to adjust that. He's going to go Twilight first. Ooh, hello. For those who don't know, Zealots, so Adepts have, I think, 10 extra shields, but otherwise they're the exact same unit. You guys correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. Zealots do get a Rush Guard shielding upgrade from, I think it's the Twilight or the Templar Archives or something, where they get bonus armor, 2 bonus shield armor after charging. 3.5 seconds. It's not quite as pronounced as the version on Green Earth's mod, but it's still a good boost to those Zealots. The Adepts have more hit points, but actually less shields. They deal a little bit more versus regular units, but the same versus light. And they have a hit point upgrade as well, the Adept. Oh, okay, so the Adepts one I gotta read. So you can see the shields runs out actually a little bit faster. But because the hit points are where you get your 1 armor to take effect, you don't get shield armor unless you get upgrades. This is actually not bad. Now, Stalker's here, denying that Overlord. Dark Shrine's coming in very early. Keep in mind, guys, DT is a bit weaker on this mod. The Dark Shrine builds very quickly, only 52 seconds. The problem is that the DTs, if they lose any shields, they will get revealed. So you gotta be really careful. Also, if you warp in units away from it, like a Nexus or Warp Gate, the units warp in without shields. So if you go across with a Warp Prism and warp in DTs, they'll be visible, Dark Templar, until they get, 20, 30 seconds to regenerate those shields out. Dark Shrine's already ready, and Classic is like, wait, what the hell? This is so early, man. And he's going to do Blink afterwards. So it's Dark Templar into Blink. Very cutesy opening. Lair is nowhere near done for Reynor. He's got an Evo Chamber, and he's going to try and move his Overlord left. He wants to do a Zergling elevator into the main, which is a great way to scout. DTs are warping in at home, moving across the map. It looks like a ground opening, and Reynor, as a result, is not building spores. So his fantastic read, in that regard, may leave him open. If the Dark Templar goes straight into the natural, it's good, but Reynor might see this. We're on Reynor's vision. Dark Templar's moving into his 3rd right now. That DT should go to his natural. Will he see it? He's starting a spore. Oh, I think he sees it. Maybe? He definitely does now. Starts the spore in the main, and he's under attack. He's already lost 2 drones in the 3rd. Dark Templar coming in. There are 2 DTs, guys. Where's the other one? Did he just send it home? Did he accidentally send his 2nd Dark Templar home? What? Or was he using it to defend his 3rd? Classic. He's going to start just picking off Zerglings there. Nowhere near as high value as some of the other kills you want, though. This DT, Reynor trying to surround it in spore range. Not quite able to. And I feel like that 3rd base should be going down, but look at this. Spore Crawler's inching its way over. DT's thinking about looping around. It's not going to get... I feel like maybe he could have got a little bit more damage here. We'll see how that goes. Zergling dropping the main. Oh, probes around. It's okay, but not the best micro for Classic. 8 probes going down. That's disastrous, that is. For just 6 Zerglings and a drop a lot, it's just a very cheap investment. Yes, he had to go for the Evo earlier than normal. Look at that. Once the DT loses its shields, it's not just going to recloak. This guy's taking some damage. He can't hide in between the bases now until his shields regen. So the DTs are much weaker. You can get them earlier. They are much weaker. You know, it's much less of a unit that it used to be in terms of just running in and out and constantly being cloaked the whole time. Now, phase reactors coming in. It allows Stalkers to restore 40 shields over 4 seconds and cloak for 1 second. I believe you can also get +1 range for the Stalkers on top of that from the Dark Shrine. Tachyon emitters, it's called. So if you get both of those, your Stalkers are both going to be self-healing and 7 range, which is going to be very, very powerful. Chat says actually it's +1.5 range. 7.5 range? You really want these friggin' nerds to just play Mass Stalker, don't you? Oh my. Well, he's obviously going to go Mass Stalker. Keep in mind, Warp Gates, if you leave them in regular gateway form, get a decent production boost on this mod. But it's so much less than on the live version of the game. And Classic, like most Protoss players, even on the live version, doesn't use regular gateways, even though they are obviously much stronger than Warp Gates. So, of course, he's not going to be utilizing that. It's unfortunate that Protoss players have been so slow to adapt in that regard, but it is what it is. He's going to go for a push. REYNOR going for Roach, Zergling, Hydroden, 4th base in the top left as well. Stalker's moving forward on the right side, but he's got to be careful, man. You don't want to get surrounded. This is an efficiency over time thing, and REYNOR, let's try to come in. Okay, so you can see there, there's shields regenerating pretty quickly after the blink. Archon does protect him from the Zergling surround. Good move there. And this is a 3 base, 6 gate, soon to be 7 or 8 gates. Blink Stalker all in, guys. Yeah, it's going to be 8 gateways. So it's a big timing attack. He's going to blink back some of these Stalkers. A little bit ham-fisted with the blinks, I feel. And unfortunately, because he's got no Observer and no Oracle, these 2 Creep Tumors are a nightmare. He has to just fight on creep, which gives a huge movement speed boost to Zerg. Tauren Space Marines on the left, watching down on those Zerglings. Getting ready to do another drop in Classic's main. Classic losing those 8 probes in the main early, I think really slowed this push down. And that's why it's not quite as scary as it otherwise would be. Hydra upgrades coming in as well as Hydras. And yeah, you're bleeding out a few Roaches, but Classic needs more than that. Just a few Roaches is not enough. I think he's got to keep doing individual blinks wherever possible. He's getting jumped on there. The Archon comes forward to help deal with those Zerglings. The blinkbacks with the healing on those shields is very good, but that's a lot of units coming forward. And remember, the Overseer gives vision over the grass. Protoss actually doesn't have air units here, so if you lose position on the grass and Zerg holds that position, actually it's Zerg with the advantage. 8 Zergling drop going in the main. I have a bad feeling about this for Classic, guys. I have a very bad feeling about this. It feels to me like REYNOR is about to do crazy damage for the second time because you're constantly warping on the front. You've just used your warping. You've started your 4th base. And REYNOR, he's going to wait for a fight. And look at this. He's going to morph an Overseer. So in case you warp in a DT to defend, you'll kill that as well. Stalker's microing on the right side. REYNOR busy fighting. He's got to click those Zerglings in next time one of these fights happens. But you see he's waiting with it because he wants Classic to be distracted. So I think the moment these guys show up, REYNOR's going to A-move this army and then click the Lings in. A-move the army, click the Lings in. No? Got a few biles going down. He's going for rapid expulsion, I believe it is, guys. It's going to allow his Ravager biles to come down twice as fast. Lings are going to go into the main base at the same time. Classic frantically microing on the front. Has he responded? He does respond. He warps in a few Zealots there. But the Hydras are jumping on top of his Stalkers at the same time. Beautiful concave management here for Classic. That's a lot of Hydras and Ravagers, and you are fighting on creep, which allows the Zerg to close the distance very quickly. The Stalkers blinking back very nicely. But look at that. The Lings move down to the natural. They get even more damage, forcing Classic to multitask in a situation where he needed all of his APM on his Blink Stalkers to have perfect micro. Brilliant counter-attack here with the drop in the main for REYNOR. A second Drop-a-Lord attack of this match. +2 coming in for both sides. Charge will be added for Protoss. Being down now 17 workers after losing 9 workers early. Another, or 8 workers early, another 9 workers now. It's costly. REYNOR's still got Hydras. He's got an Infestation pet coming in the way. Fungal would be a ruining effect on these Stalkers. If you can stop them from blinking back, so many of them already so damaged. Supply doesn't look terrible for Classic, but you got to realize with no splash damage and how damaged these Stalkers are, it's a very fragile position. Right side Zerglings find the gateway. The Stalkers, they just lost vision of the grass, and REYNOR just shoves through, punishing the lack of air units. There's no way to see through those sight blockers unless you're in on top of the sight blockers yourself, and that's where REYNOR with the Overseer is going to be favored in those engagements. Very nicely done. Not having Tachyon emitters really sucks here for Classic. That's a really, yeah, good point, chat. He still hasn't got it. Maybe he forgot it existed. He has the Dark Shrine from the opening. The whole point of this style, if he had 7.5 range on these Stalkers, what a different engagement this would be. I think he'd be beating this army, because Reynor's not got Infestors out. His Hydras would be outranged by 1.5 range. This is really, really rough. He has to recall to the main base, uses the gateway there, but so many probes going down in that main base. These Ling run-bys are just devastating. And an unfortunate key upgrade being forgotten. He did get shields, which was a good upgrade choice, but absolutely devastating to not get the Tachyon emitters upgrade. And obviously Classic's inexperience on the mod showing there. Whilst Reynor was able to do things he's a bit more familiar with, right? Just play a Hydraling. He did get the Ravager upgrade, which is very cute. Just makes those bios land faster, forces the Stalkers to dodge them at a faster cadence rather than, you know, get a few shots off and only blink back at the last second. Second Evo Chamber Infestors on the way. Hive as well. Reynor is almost max. Classic. He's going to break some rocks over there. Oh, you can break rocks to crush things that are on the high ground? I didn't even know that was a thing. So if your opponent drops a siege tank on the high ground, you can kill the rock tower next to it and crush the siege tank on the high ground. I didn't even know that was a thing. That's crazy. Zealots trying to fight these Zerglings. Stalkers trying to rotate. What? Oh, you can cast charge. I forgot. Guys, you don't have to just charge on enemy units. You can cast charge. So you can charge away from the enemy as well. Oh, no. Oh, the hold fire lurker fungal. No. No. Instant rewind, guys. Sorry, we have to instant rewind that. That is crazy. Oh, my God. Oh my God. Hold fire. Release. Oh, man. A massive double fungal lurker ambush. That is absolute insanity. Classic stumbles into that. Sees the Hydraling on the left. Shoves it on the right to take advantage of Reynor being out of position. But it was indeed a trap. And now Classic with just Zealot Stalker against an impending avalanche of Hydra Zergling. A few Ravagers behind as well. The Stalkers cannot hold on. The Zealots are just going to get blasted before they can do anything. Reynor losing his cool a little bit and shoving into a choke point, but he's got the numbers. It doesn't even matter. Reynor is going to take the series there. Sorry, the scoreboard flipped when I was zooming in and out. Obviously, that's a 2-0 for Reynor, guys. Very nice win there over Classic. And at the end of this game, guys, he was going to go for subterminal creep follicles, which allows Swarm Queens to passively generate creep. I don't think we really saw him use that in the previous game. He was also getting +10 Hydra upgrades. Even though he took the damage in the main, I really think the hatchery tech drops in the main were crucial. And something Classic's going to remember next time playing this mod is you got to have vision of the edge. You've always got to have like a pylon over here or a pylon here, so you can see those drops coming in. You can't let them unload 8 Zerglings and then just appear in your mineral line, because that did too much damage. That being said, with the position he had over here, I think we absolutely, you know, he was pushing from what, 7 minutes onwards. He easily, I mean, plus 1.5 range definitely takes priority over plasma shields. He easily had the money for it, and it's a real bummer that he didn't realize that upgrade was in. Because if you get both those upgrades, Blink Stalkers in the mid game are an absolute menace. GG, well played.